Hello people, welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to the propaganda machine. This is the Game Week 9 Premier League preview show, and this week we'll have a separate show for the Arsenal vs Liverpool match. As you know, Game Week 9 started last night with Nottingham Forest going away to Leicester City in the East Midlands derby, and Nottingham Forest coming out on top with a pretty dominant display over the Foxes. And one man that really stamped his authority on this game was Chris Wood. I recently said he should be in the all-time Premier League underrated 11. Thinking about it, probably him and Giroud up front, but his first goal in this game, wow, it was a thing of beauty. He didn't need to look at the goal. This is what a real striker can do. He knows where the goal is without even looking. Use the defender to bend the ball into the bottom corner, and that was just a magnificent goal from Chris Wood. If you had him in your fantasy team, that was a very, very wise investment. And then his second goal, even better. Literally, he followed a long ball from the goalkeeper, and the defender made the mistake trying to head it back to his goalkeeper, and Chris Wood just got in front and just looped the ball over the goalkeeper with his head. It was great reactions. Probably weren't better, but it was two very, very good goals. Strikers finishes, you have to appreciate that, because it's like the number 9 is dying out in football. Those type of finishes are dying out in football. Instinct. Not everyone has a striker's instinct, but Chris Wood, he certainly has that. So Nottingham Forest, they are now up to 5th place in the table. This must be at least, if not their best, their second ever best start on a Premier League season, because 4 wins, 4 draws and only 1 defeat. To put that into context, there's only a handful of teams that have only had 1 defeat. Your Aston Villas, Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, and now Nottingham Forest. I think that's only 5 teams. So fantastic job from Nuno Espirito Santo. He's bringing his Wolves side to Nottingham, and it's very, very devastating. Now we'll look at the rest of these weekend's fixtures, starting with Aston Villa and Bournemouth. So this game, you'd think is pretty straightforward, but that's what Arsenal thought. We thought last week it's only Bournemouth. I had 3-0, other people had 5-0, 4-0, comfortable game. We found out the hard way. Bournemouth are no mugs. And Aston Villa, on the other hand, they've only lost once this season, courtesy of Arsenal, who Bournemouth beat. So I'm expecting a very, very close game. But for me, this Aston Villa side, especially at home, they're very, very good. And we have Ollie Watkins, who's found his form. He didn't start the season the best, but now he's motoring into gear. And Aston Villa, they're doing outstanding in Europe. I think they're either top or second in the whole of the Champions League group phase. So it's a very, very fantastic job from Unai Emery. And Bournemouth, on the other hand, they're not doing too badly. 11th in the table. Areola, They lost Solanke. He's doing a very good job as Evan Nilsson's not been too bad. He started a bit slow, but he's finding his feet as the games go on. And Saliba found out last week he's no mug because he spun him and he had to take the red. Whether you agree with it or not, that's another debate altogether. But my prediction in this game, I'm going with an Aston Villa 2-1 victory. It's going to be close, but I think home advantage will see Aston Villa through in this game. Next game, also at 3 o'clock, Brentford vs Ipswich. Ipswich, I had stocks in them. I'm thinking, oh, they look very good at home. I was bigging them up last week, thinking they're going to take their scalp against Everton. First scalp of the season. But now, fool me once, you can't fool me twice. I even predicted Ipswich to somehow survive. But you can't trick me. Hell no. And Brentford, on the other hand, they're a very, very dangerous side. And now I believe Johan Wissa is back. The Cramp twins are gonna cause a lot of trouble. If you have them both in your fantasy team, that is the right thing to do. Because in this game, I feel Brentford are gonna run riot. They are going to run riot. And especially at home, I think they've won every single home game. They might have drawn one, but I know they've won at least 3. So I'm expecting another victory against Ipswich, a comfortable one. I'm going with 3-0 to Brentford. 2 for Wissa, 1 from Buemo, and the Cramp twins are back in business. Get your stocks up. Next game, Brighton versus Wolves. Wolves. Last week, you could say they were so unlucky. Almost got the draw against Man City, but Man City do what champions do. Find a way. By hook, by crook, rob Peter to pay Paul. They always do it. They're inevitable. And Wolves, you could say they're also inevitable. Inevitable losers. That is 7 losses out of their opening 8. And yes, they've had a tough start. Playing 6 of the top 8 teams. And now they're going to be playing 7 of the top 8. But no. Actually, wait. Nottingham Forest are now there. So they've almost played everyone. Yeah. Wolves, they need to start winning fast. Gary O'Neill needs results. Now this time, it don't matter how they get it. They need a result in this game. They must go to the Amex and get something. Because you don't want to get to like 10 games and no victories. Because that will put you in a whole load of trouble. There will be a whole load of pressure because you'll probably have to play most of the bottom half teams in the next 8 games, but that doesn't matter. Once you've got this loser's mentality inside your dressing room, it's going to infect it. So you need to win. But Brighton, brilliant start, currently sitting in 6th. What's his name? I don't know, Fabian Hertzler, I think that's his name. Youngest manager in the Premier League, 31 years old. He has got Brighton playing. It's like every time Brighton lost their manager, they're finished. It was Potter, he left. De Zerbi came in. Now De Zerbi's left. Hertzler, he's doing a magnificent job. And I predict more away day blues for Wolves. I'm going with a 3-1 win to Brighton. It's not going to be a very good day for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Next game, we have Manchester City versus Southampton. Pack your bags. This game, this doesn't need a preview. This game is second versus second bottom. So all you have to say is, yes, Man City struggled last week against Wolves, who are bottom. But Wolves and Southampton, if Wolves play Southampton, I'm banking on Wolves because this Southampton team, they were 2-0 up last week against Leicester and fumbled the lead, fumbled the 2-goal lead, and now they are going to Man City, arguably the most dangerous team in the Premier League, especially on their day. They've just come from the Champions League where I believe it was 5-0. Erling Haaland scored one of the best goals you're going to see this season. A backheel overhead kick. Listen, or scorpion, whatever you want to call it. But all I know, I've triple captained Erling Haaland for this game. I'm expecting him to cause a massacre. When I said last week about Wolves, if Erling Haaland breaks the goal scoring records and scores 6, I wouldn't be surprised. I was wrong. That was disrespectful to Wolves because this is the worst team in the league. Forget statistics, forget any of that. All I know is that Erling Haaland is getting 2 goals minimum. He will get 2 goals minimum without a shadow of a doubt. So I'm going with Manchester City 5, Southampton 0. This is going to be a beating, one that Southampton don't want. Next game. This is the late kickoff today. Everton versus Fulham. Two teams, they've had mixed starts to the season. Fulham, they are picking up results here and there, and they currently sit 10th in the Premier League. And for Everton, they're in 16th, so it's not too big of a gap in the table, and I'm expecting a kind of interesting game because Everton, you don't know what you're gonna get, and you can kind of argue with Fulham. It's one of them games that anything can happen. Either team could win, either team could get a point. So I'm kind of, I'm on the fence with this game, especially Everton. Like Calvert-Lewin, he doesn't know how to finish. He's like he's allergic. I don't know why he's allergic to finishing. And on the other hand, we have Raul Jimenez in great form. It's like he's found a new lease of life. He's back. So I'll probably go with a Desmond. I'm going with a 2-2 in this game because I don't know who's gonna get over the line. That's what I'm going with. Now we move on to the Sunday fixtures. 2 o'clock, Chelsea versus Newcastle at Stamford Bridge. This is gonna be a pretty entertaining game. Newcastle, no wins in 4. Chelsea, no wins in their last 2 in the Premier League. So you'd think probably Chelsea might get over the line in this game as, they dropped points to Liverpool last game, but Liverpool are at the top flying. Newcastle, on the other hand, lost at home to Brighton 1-0, and they've not really been on good form recently. Eddie Howe is under pressure, and now he's telling Isak to focus on his football, not on his contract. So it looks like Isak might not be signing a new deal after all. We had Newcastle fans saying, "Oh, he's not gonna go. He's signing a new contract." Don't be surprised if this is his last season at St James's, especially if they don't get European football again and there's more FFP pressure. He might just be gone. Chelsea, on the other hand, they're very dangerous. They won 4-1 in midweek, and they seem to be picking up results again at Stamford Bridge, even though, yeah, they did draw against Crystal Palace at home and Nottingham Forest. But Newcastle, I don't know. I don't know. So in this game, I am going with a 2-2, as yes, Chelsea are the better side, but I just feel, like I said, they drew with Nottingham Forest at home and they drew with Crystal Palace. Their home record is not the best and they lost against Man City, so that's my reasoning. Next game, Crystal Palace versus Spurs. Crystal Palace. They've been shocking this season. Shocking. Currently sat in 18th in the table. One of only 4 teams to not have registered a win this season. And Monday night saw them go down 2-0 against, or was it 1-0 against 1-0 against Nottingham Forest. But they're playing against Tottenham. Tottenham, they're a mixed bag. It's like they either win or lose. Win, lose, win, lose. 4 wins, 3 losses. They have got a draw. You could probably see this being a draw, or you could see Tottenham winning comfortably. But I just don't know what it is. I just have a feeling this might just be the game. It's a London derby. Tottenham against Crystal Palace. And if we look at their recent fixtures at Selhurst Park, okay, that kind of changes a lot. So Tottenham have won 7 of the last 10 fixtures. I was under the impression Crystal Palace had recently got victories against Tottenham. No, they haven't. So this is even a bad fixture for Crystal Palace. But just like Chelsea, Chelsea won 13 in a row against Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace stopped the rot. So I'm going with Crystal Palace to get their first win of the season. It's a hunch, it's a guess. Don't ask me why. I could get it totally wrong, but every match day I probably pick a bit. I probably pick about 2 banana skins, and this is probably going to be one of them. Last game, West Ham versus Man United, and West Ham, they just look so bad. They look appalling. They're currently sat in 15th place in the Premier League, and they are up against Man United, who are also in 12th. It's like literally every time Man United play, it's like a mid-table derby. Who's gonna get the better in this game? I really don't know, because when I think about it, Kudus is now out. So that even lowers West Ham's chances, but they could play Somerville on that side. Somerville, Paqueta, Bowen. But striker's the big issue. Who they're gonna play up front? I don't know. I have no clue. Absolutely no clue. And as for Man United, it's another week. Another week. Ten Hag has two fixtures to save his job. Every week. This is becoming like a Groundhog Day. That was the word. It's not Judgment Day, it's Groundhog Day. Ten Hag, two games to save his job. He drew against Fenerbahce in midweek, and now he has West Ham away. And if they draw this game, are the board gonna tell us that it's two games away from home, tough games, Fenerbahce and West Ham? It's a good 2 points. Surely this is becoming a laughing matter now, because most rival fans are not taking Ineos or Ten Hag seriously. They're not taking them seriously. And maybe, just maybe, this might be the greatest piece of business by Ineos, keeping Ten Hag. He might turn things round. He might become a legend at Man United. Because my cousin, he seems to think that Ten Hag is the right man. He needs patience. He needs all the time in the world, just like Fergie. If he's given 3 or 4 years, Man United will win the league in 2028. That's the vision, because Barada said so. Ah, if you're a Man United fan, you better hope that this man is right. But from outside looking in, I can't see how this continues much longer. Midweek, Mazraoui in the 10. You have Ahmad. You have Ericsson that can play there, but he played a defender in the 10. And as soon as he put a midfielder there and Mazraoui back in defence, Man United looked balanced. They looked in control of the game, because for at least you could say a good 40 minutes in that game, they were getting dominated. It was full on domination. They were like victims of a dominatrix against Fenerbahce. But as usual, he gets a result somehow. He finds a way to get a result. And I was thinking in this game to go with a 2-1 win West Ham. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going with 2-1 to Man United. Ten Hag, he's going to continue, and we'll be asking the same question next week. There's another 2 games for Ten Hag to save his job. Will he do it? So, here's a list of all of the fixtures and the results. As you can see, we have Tottenham losing to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace getting their first win. Southampton getting battered. So, let me know if you agree with those results. And the Arsenal vs Liverpool preview will be out later. So that's been the Game Week 9 Premier League preview show. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the like button if you're still here at the end. Bless people.